Once you've added all of your questions, you might want to give a little consideration to the way that your survey will appear to the people filling it in. And you can do that from within the Design tab in Jisc Online Surveys. Over here on the left-hand menu, the third item down is the survey appearance. And you can click on this and you have some control over how your survey will present to your respondents. There are a number of predefined themes that you can select. The default is the BOS2 theme, which is the standard Jisc Online Surveys theme, and you'll see here it says in brackets fixed width. And there are others. The way that you preview these is you select the one that you want to try and you click the preview survey button. I'm going to stick with the online surveys fixed theme, but this time I'm going to click create new theme. And what this is going to do is it's going to give me more options based on the options of the theme that I've got selected, so the BOS2 theme, but I can then tweak them, change them and build my own theme. The first thing I have control over is the heading fonts, and you'll see here I get some browser safe font suggestions, and this is defaulted to Helvetica, to Arial, Helvetica and Sans Serif, and that just means that depending on the capability of the browser that you're using, an appropriate font from that kind of family or that style of fonts will apply. It will either be Arial or Helvetica or the default sans serif font on your system. I can make some changes here. I might actually want to make my headings stronger, so I'm going to use Arial Black Gadget sans serif. So you can see over here in the quick preview window, I can see my header is now bold, which I quite like. I can do the same thing for the main fonts, the fonts that include my questions. So if I do that here, look, you can see that my question headings and so forth have changed to Arial Black, this bolder version of the font. I'm not so keen on that. It looks a bit heavy, a little bit of an assault on the eye, so I'm going to change that back to Arial Helvetica Sans Serif. I then have some options around the colours that I use in my survey, and you'll see this very kind of this blue colour palette. Blue uses blue as the basis, and that matches with what you can see, the theme of Jisc Online Surveys. So if I leave this as it is, I'm going to get this very kind of similar appearance to the system here itself. But I do have control over these. I can control them completely. I can change colours by moving these sliders around, and you can see they're changing here. And I can change these colours, so actually my headings want to be black, and the main text is a lighter grey. That kind of suits me. Might move that about a little bit. I might want to have a theme that's based on a different colour, so I can move away from the blue and towards maybe a more green type of colour, and I can make these changes to the different areas of my survey. And you know, I'm doing this rather randomly. You do this in a slightly more considered way, I'm sure. So when I do this, I'm just going to move these reasonably randomly, and we're going to come up with a colour theme. I have no idea what this is going to look like other than this small quick preview here, but I can preview this later. I can choose how I want my answer area to be represented, with a shadow, with a border, or with no border at all. And then the width here, this is an interesting setting, and this is one that it's worth just taking a little bit of note on. The two options here is fixed width and fluid width. Now, we mentioned that the BOS2 default theme is a fixed width theme, although there is a fluid width theme. And essentially what this means is that if we switch this over to fluid, which I'm going to suggest doing, it means that your survey will adapt to fit the screen size of the device that it's being viewed on. And that is quite important if you want to make your survey as accessible as possible for people using multiple devices. So if you want your survey to work well on a mobile phone, on a tablet, and also on a desktop or laptop computer, I would suggest you use the fluid width setting here. When setting these colours, of course, we whiz through that really very quickly, but I would urge you to bear in mind issues of accessibility. And the main thing that you need to maintain with the colour theme that you choose is contrast, making sure that the colours that you choose, where they work together, so for example the text colour and the background colours contrast nicely, so you've got dark coloured text on a light coloured background or vice versa. And it is very easy to make mistakes with accessibility at this stage, so I would suggest that if you are going to design your own survey theme, you do some research around some basic accessibility principles before you do so. So that said, I'm going to give this a name. James's theme. I'm going to put in brackets, just like the Jisc Online Survey one. I'm going to say, remind myself that it's a fluid theme, and I'm going to tick here to say I want to make this. I'm going to put in the description to describe what the theme is like. It's green, this theme. James's theme, fluid. Description would be a little bit more, would contain a little bit more information than that typically, and I want to make this available for any survey that I build within Jisc Online Surveys. So I'm going to tick this box here, and I'm going to save it. And now, as I'm taken back to the survey appearance section within the design tab, you'll see that my theme has changed to James's theme, fluid, which is the new theme I've just created. And if I want to know what that looks like, again, I can preview the survey here. There's a couple more settings I want to look at though. One here, I have the option of including a logo on my survey. This will appear in appropriate points throughout my survey. You see here that I've got the option of including the BGU logo, or I can upload a new logo here as well. I'm not really sure why you would want to do that in the context of research projects that you're doing here at BG, but the option is there. I'm going to include the BG logo. It might clash a little bit with my new green theme, but hey. The other setting that I've got the option for here is to include a background image. So that would allow me to put a picture in the background of my survey. Again, a setting that perhaps I wouldn't necessarily recommend you use. It can make for a slightly kind of visually complicated and distracting result, which is not something that you really want to have when you're asking people to complete your survey. But again, the option is there for you, and you can use it if you wish to. Now that I've done this, I can click save, and I've applied my new settings. And the last thing to do is click preview survey. And now I can preview my survey, and I can see BG logo. I've got my new bold headings, and I can preview the questions that I've set so far. Now, so you can see there at a click of a button, I've been able to have a look at the what my survey is going to look like for my respondents. Because I did this ever so quickly and I chose those colours at random, I might suggest that this isn't the best looking survey I've ever seen, but that's okay. I can click finish, and I can click return here, and I can come back to this page and I can revert to the BOS2 theme or any of the other preset themes. So I'm going to choose the BOS2 theme, this time the fluid width theme. I'm going to save that, and you can see really quickly I've changed the appearance of my survey straight away. So that's how to go about changing your survey's appearance before you distribute it to your respondents.